Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Just like yesterday, this is Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric, and I'm going to be uploading a YouTube video on the look ahead to the Phillies and Diamondbacks series, and then also do a shorter Instagram clip with the link to this video in the bottom. So, getting into it, the Phillies just completed another great series sweep of the Pirates. We've been doing good against the opponents we should be taking advantage of, and then the opponents that also got to hot starts this year, like Pittsburgh. So now we continue to to take advantage of those opponents because Arizona has got to a very hot start this year. They're 15-6. We're coming in at 14-7. Robbie Ray, though, has been up and down so far this year. He's 2-0, but that's because of his run support, because he has a 4.98 ERA so far. And Vince is obviously 1-2 with a 3.80, and that's due to his run support more in the other direction, where some of the games he didn't get a decision in or lost were the games we just didn't score. Those couple games we had this year were the games that Vince pitched that we just didn't get anything going, and he actually ended up helping himself out in a couple games. So we look for Vince to continue showing he's advancing, because he has the filthy stuff, he has the great stuff. It's just honing in that stuff, which so far this year he has shown the abilities to do in comparison to past years, where many of us thought he would have had to be put into the bullpen at some point this year. But if he keeps showing this as a starter, he's going to be A-OK as a starter and finally probably be what we expect him to be. Now, Nick Pivetta, to compliment on him from the last start he pitched in the Pirates series, he's been killing it most of the season. Other than his first start of the entire season, which is kind of the same for Vince, both of those guys have been very solid since. And then Pivetta had that one 4-inning game, but he battled through it, and Vince had that one game he had to battle through as well since then. But that also is good signs at times, because that shows maturity and shows that, unlike last year, I think those guys might have gave up a bunch in tough innings, whereas this year they're finding the groove and getting out of it and actually honing in even more and saying, no, I'm done, you're not scoring, I'm stopping you, letting in either one at most or none. And that's a great competitiveness to see from very young pitchers. Well, the Phillies, of course, take on the Diamondbacks tonight, which means, obviously, the guys you want to fear for on the Dbacks would be primarily, number one, Paul Goldschmidt. You have to watch pitching to Paul Goldschmidt. He can hit the ball anywhere. There's not really a good way to D him up, because if you do shift him or then hit it to the other end, he's just a great overall hitter, one of the best in the game, and it'll be interesting to see him play live these next few games. So Goldie is definitely someone the Phillies definitely need to watch out for tonight. And then, obviously, you also have guys like A.J. Pollock are actually healthy for the D-backs this year, and that has been helping. Patrick Corbin has been healthy and has been very good to start the year. His statistics are actually among the top amongst lefties so far this year in some stats. And then they just have better production. They picked up Alex Avila in the offseason, who's not off to a good start at the plate, but he's just that other good veteran defensive catcher, as is Jeff Mathis, who's on their team. Just two good managers behind the plate they have. And then when you're the Phillies, you also want to watch, much like in the last series, it was the dark horse player of David Freese, because of how much he killed the Phillies in the past. They kept him at bay. He didn't really do anything against us in the Pirates series. Phillies going to have to do that with Descalso, because he obviously has killed the Phillies at times way back in his career in a sense with the Cardinals, but he's been someone whose stats have been good in past games against us. So if he pinch hit, watch for him because of his confidence against our club. And then you just have Gerard Dyson's of the world, a very good speedy outfielder that's a solid hitter. David Peralta, Chris Owings, and A.J. Pollock. They have a very solid outfield with two of those guys who could also play the infield. And then The Scalzo also plays out there sometimes. So the Diamondbacks just added. They have a team that doesn't have a lot of stars other than Paul Goldschmidt, much like the Phillies this year. They don't have a lot of stars so far, but everyone's kind of contributing in a bunch, where Reese is the leader. As for them, Goldie is the leader, and then everybody else follows suit. That's kind of how both teams go. So this is going to be a very interesting series, especially to see those two big hitting first baseman battle it out / left fielder if you're talking about Reese Hoskins. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this series goes. I think this is going to be a bigger challenge for the Phillies than even Pitt, because the difference between Pitt and the Dbacks is the Dbacks have the more experienced pitching, like the Greinke's, the Corbins, the Robbie Rays. The Pirates have Jamison Tyone, who's one of the best young pitchers in the league, but is still young and inexperienced. And Williams, who went against us the other day, who's still young and inexperienced, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to battle against these pitchers. But this is going to be a great series. I look forward to watching and being at some of the games in this series. Let's go Phillies. Let's keep this hot streak going. Let's win another series. Maybe even sweep. That would be great to get back-to-back sweeps. One being against the Diamondbacks and one being against the great Pittsburgh Pirates team. Well, great team to start this year. So let's keep it rolling. Phillies, peace out. This is Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. Let's go Philadelphia. Let's go Phillies. Let's keep the sports momentum going, even though our fly guys went out. Shout out to them for a solid season. We just need to put some pieces together and continue to get better in the offseason, which I know we will, and possibly it'll be interesting to see what happens. For a quick tidbit on that with Dave Hackstall. So this has been Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. Peace out, everyone.